The balance pose for the dragon is called the eagle, and the eagle is a single leg position, or single leg balance, where we have one leg crossed over the other and one arm crossed over the other. Now when we cross the pelvis, it creates a rotation and a slight tilt that can cause you to sink into your hip socket, which we don't want. That's using the joints locked out for stability. What we want to is activate the glute medius and minimus and the abs and the obliques all at the same time to stop us falling over. Of course, there's going to be a lot of work done on the lower limb. And then, because the arms are also rotated, you might feel some stretch down through the back in these external rotator positions, like so. So we're adding them together in a balance. Now, the aim is to get your foot tucked into the other side, so my right foot tucked into behind the left, which I'm struggling to do a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. And then the opposite hand, left, goes onto the top. Aim to get the elbows about shoulder height, and then to squat down through here. Now, a 5-second hold, it would be an optimal, well not optimal, 5 seconds would be good. 5 breaths is probably all you need to do, especially when you start combining all the animals together in our stability flow, which comes later. Now in the dragon, we're doing the stretch series. We have a series of stretches that involve rotation, and if the revolved triangle was painful or you didn't really feel confident doing it, we have a mini rotation stretch, which is very, very good anyhow, and we'll use this in our little ground-based stretching as well. So it's the lying rotation stretch. You just lie on the mat, back straight. I'm lifting my head up to speak to the camera, otherwise you lie down. Arms are out. Now you're going to bring the right knee up over the hip and the left hand, so the opposite hand goes to the outside of the knee. The foot can come in contact with the leg, and then just gently rotate the leg over, but keep the shoulder on the ground. So only go as far as keep the shoulder on the ground, and then, so you can see here, I can rotate with my shoulder on the ground. Then you can stay there for 30 seconds or a minute. But what you want to do is scan your body to see where you feel tight. Now some people are going to feel tight here, and then you'll see their shoulder internally rotate and lift off. So you know that pec minor is tight, and we have a stretch for that, but we will stand up later for that. Next, they may feel tightness here in the butt, which is the gluteus area that's more like the deep lateral rotators of the hip, mainly the piriformis. So we'll stretch that. They may feel it in their lumbar spine or their ribs. So that's rotation. And they're not going to feel it, but the hamstrings have a role in the tightness here, because they pull the pelvis down and they stop it rotating. So we do that for 1 minute. And then just for contrast, onto the other side, and this is my tightest side. So come up, hand over, tuck toe in, pull that across, straighten my hip, and here. So I've got my knee touching the ground, and the shoulder is just off. So I put my shoulder back down, and I've got if I put over pressure on it, I've got about two or so fingers gap between the knee and the floor. So that's your assessment also, how far the knee is from the floor. So some people are a fist, some maybe 2 fists like that. And that way that you can gauge the progress by how many knuckles they've made, or if they get to the ground. If you do a rotation sport, it's optimal, especially in golf, the knee on the ground with the shoulder on the ground. And if you can do that, you're going to have the ability to have a good backswing. Okay, so then we'll go on to the next stretch. The lower body Russian twist is an exercise where the trunk is stable on the floor and the legs are moving from side to side, and it's a very good exercise to activate the obliques. So they've got the internal oblique, external oblique. When these contract, internal oblique pulls with the right to move towards the left. When the right internal oblique works with the opposite internal oblique to move towards the right. So this is the lower body Russian twist. So arms are out wide. Now, so the instructions, lie on your back, put your arms out wide with your palms up. Now, you will need them to stabilize, like trainer wheels. In doing so, you're going to pull your arms back like that into the floor, which is going to activate your shoulder adductors, which helps with good posture. The knees are going to be, both of the knees, at 90 degrees, and the knees above the hip. And you can have your knees apart or your knees touching. Your knees touching, it makes it more difficult, which means more core activation. So that's the lower body Russian twist bent knees, or the beginner version.